If someone joined your email list right now, what would happen next? If you answer I don't know or nothing, then this video is for you. Today I am showing you exactly how to set up an automated welcome email sequence in Wix so that every single person who signs up gets an intentional experience from day one without you having to do anything manually. I am Dee of Deebella Digital and I teach all things customer experience, process improvement, and digital visibility. Let's get into it.
I don't wanna fall in love. I just wanna have some fun, yeah. I don't wanna fall in love.
Most small business owners either skip a welcome sequence entirely or they'll just send out one generic welcome email and go silent for weeks at a time. What we are building today is a 5 email sequence that introduces you, builds trust, and warms up your subscriber before you ever make an offer. And we are going to let Wix AI do all of the heavy lifting. So to get started, I want you to go ahead and log into Wix and go to the automation section on the left hand side at the bottom of the menu. Once you click on automations, you will be brought to this page where you can start with create automation towards the top right. So once I've selected that, I have an option to go with a pre-made automation Wix have here, or I can create with AI, or I can start from scratch. For this demo, I will be creating with AI. So now we're on the automation page. You do have the option to build from scratch if you decide, you know what, AI isn't for me. I do want you to keep in mind towards the top left is where you are going to input your title. Make sure you do this because if you accidentally start saving all your automations as untitled automation, it will get a bit confusing. So I'm just going to name this welcome sequence. And then towards the right side, I have where I can go ahead and input my prompt to create an automated sequence. Instead of writing our prompt here, I'm going to go ahead and head to Google Docs. So stay tuned to the end of this video for access on how to download this prompt we're walking through today for free. So some things before we get started with this prompt that you should know about your business is what problem you're solving, who your target audience is, your brand tone, and what are your services. You have to tell AI what exactly is the role you're needing them to play. In this instance, I need them to be an email marketing strategist. Now that AI has an understanding of what role I need them to play, what I need from AI is for it to create me a 5 email welcome sequence. Do your welcome sequence have to be 5 emails? No, you can go with 3. I would just recommend going with more than one. This is the first impression your customers or new subscribers have of you. So in addition of telling them who you are, you do want to nurture them as well. You don't want to just send them an offer now that they're subscribed. Tell them who you are. Give them something to help them understand who you are, what you offer, and how you can help them as well as your expertise before just throwing an offer at them. Now that AI has a general understanding of what I need, I now need to help AI understand who I am. So create a 5 email sequence for a small business educator named Deebella who runs Deebella Digital. Why this is important. We're going to get to more of my tone and my brand voice, but for me, I love for my emails to be very conversational, friendly, like a FaceTime business call. And I will oftentimes end my email with Deebella. And I also wanted to know like the name of my company as well. Sometimes people aren't even looking at the email address where it's coming from. They just open it up. You need to mention who you are. Because if I get something in my inbox and I'm not expecting it, I may forget that I even subscribed to your email list. Now I'm wondering, who are you and why are you here? So each email should answer that at all times. Now, the next part of this prompt is going to be focused on what I do, what my business offers. I not only have an introduction of who I am, what I offer, I'm also describing my target audience, how I help them, what problem I solve, and what their transition will be. This is going to make sure that the email sequence that Wix AI is creating is specifically tailored to my brand and to my target audience. So next we are going to focus on our brand tone, our brand voice, and what verbiage that we want to use throughout this email. because in addition to creating the flow, it's also going to automatically create the emails that will be sent out as well as the subject lines. So now that we have the foundation of what we're asking for, we're going to get further into the emails that we need. So I'm going to ask for 5 emails to be created with a 3-day delay between each one. The delay is very important for you to include in your prompt because you don't want to overwhelm your subscriber. With this automation, if you do not add any delay, it's automatically going to send one email after the other. The only one that I want to send initially is the first one, which will be as soon as they submit the form, they will receive a welcome email. From there, I want to delay it by 3 days before they get the next email. The reason for going with 3 days is because it's not a long period of time where they will forget about you, forget they even subscribe. You still want to be top of mind and constantly in their inbox, but not to a point where you're overwhelming them, not to a point where they're like, this is too much, and now they have unsubscribed. So you do want to keep that in mind and make sure you are adding some sort of delay throughout these automations. So first, I'm going to start with a welcome email. Email 2 will be more of them learning about me and my business. Email 3, I am going to create a value offer. This is going to be something that I can offer for free, but that has value to transform their business or solve a problem. But I'm not asking them right away, hey, buy something. So my 4th email will continue to add value and nurture them, and I can be adding on to the offer that I've already made, but maybe I'm going to pull out something in that offer and expand on it a little bit more. So at this point, I am proving my authority and my credibility. So my last email will be the follow-up email. So I will be following up on the value offer, but now I'm transitioning into a paid offer. So now I'm transitioning that into maybe it being a digital product, maybe it's being a one-on-one, maybe it's a community group that I have. How do they continue to be a part of Deebella Digital ecosystem? I'm going to come back to these emails, but before I do, a few things that you want to make sure is also included. The formatting for each email. So you're not just asking for the sequence to be created in the 5 emails. I also need the subject line to be created, the preview text, full email body with proper capitalization. I don't know the reason why, but sometimes AI does not get capitalization right. I want a call to action at the end of each one, and I also want my signature added. And as a bonus, I'm going to add a few tone reminders. This is reminding AI I want my tone to be conversational, warm like a FaceTime call with a bestie. Use language like we and us throughout so that they understand it's not just me versus them. We are in this together. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be preachy. I want everything to flow and not just sound like a sales pitch. I also want it to be short and punchy because I understand that when people are reading these emails, they're not signing up to read a book. So I need to get my point across as quickly as possible while still adding as much value as I can. So now that we have that, we're going to go back to the description for each email. I'm going to share just the first one with you all. I have email 1, welcome email. Please understand that what you put here will be the name of your email for that particular sequence order. So you do want to make sure where it says like value offer, add value, follow up, pay offer, that you are putting something a bit more descriptive just for you to be able to see and understand when you're looking at the overview of the flow chart. So for this first description, I am explaining to AI what exactly I am needing in this email. So I have a subscriber just signed up, make them feel like joining was the best decision they made today. Introduce Deebella and Deebella Digital, set expectations for what is coming. Warm, personal, and exciting without being over the top. And with one simple call to action to reply and tell Deebella something about their business. So you don't have to write a full 3-page essay for every single email description. You're basically using this as a foundation to set up the automation for you and then go in to perfect it. In the copy that will be available to you, it will include some tips and tricks for this section if you don't have an idea of what you want to add here. So make sure you're staying to the end of this video for access to this welcome sequence email prompt. So once I have everything, I am going to just copy it. We're going to paste it over using the Wix Automations agent. So once the automation agent is done asking clarifying questions, I'm going to click build this automation. So now that Wix AI has done the heavy lifting for us, we officially have a 5 email welcome sequence. Now let's go through it just to make sure it gave us exactly what we were looking for. First, we have the initial trigger that is going to be set off by a form being submitted. Yes, it have my proper form subscribe pop-up. Now, it did not do what I asked for. I only want this to trigger once per person. You can also set it to trigger once per person. I only want it to trigger the one time they're subscribed, and that's it. So I'm going to update that and click apply. Next, we have our welcome email. So we have our email plan we're currently on. We also have our sender details. So one thing I want you to keep in mind, as you can see here, I have a total of 304 emails that has been sent this month and have a total of 5,000. This automation will count towards that total. This isn't just emails you send out manually or campaigns you send. Automations count towards this quota as well, so you do want to be mindful of that. Next, I have my subject line. Welcome to Deebella Digital. We're so glad you're here. I personally don't like that. So I will go in and just click edit. And then I have at the top where I can edit my subject line and my preview text. So I'm going to leave that as is. Next, I'm going to come down to what exactly does the email say. I have the content of the email, some that I asked for. What I want to do is read this thoroughly and update it based on what my target audience needs and also what I offer. You don't want to leave this exactly how it is. AI is not perfect. Next, I have my call to action that I asked for. This says visit our home base. Do I like that? No. So I'm just going to click on it, head on over to button text, update it to what I would like, and make sure you are going in and updating all of your links as well. Currently, this is set up to a dynamic link, but let's say I want to take them to my YouTube channel, my Instagram. I would instead select from the options here, regular URL, input the URL, and then I also have the option to change visibility if I want this call to action button to be shown on all devices or just desktop or just mobile. I'm going to leave visibility as is, click apply. So let's go back to our email flow. Now what I mentioned that was important was our delay. So as you can see here, if I click on delay, it says wait for a specified period and it currently has 3 days set. And if I scroll down, as you can see, that is going to be listed in between each email. The only one that is not listed in between is when the form is submitted in that initial welcome email. So once the form is submitted, this first welcome email will send automatically. Next, I have the 3-day delay from the time the welcome email was sent. After those 3 days, it will then send my next email. The subject lines, the previews, the content that's in the email is all here listed for you. At the bottom, you have where the form submission PDF is attached. You can choose to remove that, which I would recommend. I will only put that as an option on the first email that they're going to receive and just remove it from all others. That basically means, for instance, my form have the email that they're going to put in. Yes, they're subscribing, and they have a few check boxes for their interest. So when they receive this email, in addition to this welcome email, they're also going to receive a PDF showing these options that they've selected. So there may not be a need for you to include that in every single email as a part of this sequence. So again, I would recommend once you have created your email sequence using Wix AI to go through each individual email and make sure it's crafted towards your business, your branding. That's not just the text itself, but that's the overall design, the user interface, the aesthetic, the color scheme. Everything should match your brand. I would recommend familiarizing yourself with the Wix automation platform so you have an understanding of what it's all capable of. You now have a fully automated sequence running inside Wix that introduces you and builds trust without you having to lift a finger after today. To access this sequence prompt, head over to deebelladigital.com/sequence. And if you get stuck for any reason, be sure to drop your question in the comments so I can give you a helping hand. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you here again next week, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then.
I don't wanna fall in love. I just wanna have some fun, yeah. I don't wanna fall in love.